Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yasha if you're new here. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I have hit 800 subscribers, which is like insane to me. If you haven't subscribed, I would love if you did. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about the first week of interviews. I was an interviewer as well as an interviewee for the last week, and I think that this gave me a chance to really reflect on the things that are good and the things that are bad and ways to really stay engaged during the interview process. The first thing I can ask as an applicant is to stay patient. Actually, our first week of interviews I think went pretty well. We didn't really have any glitches except for like the minor tech glitch where like someone couldn't watch one of our videos, but whatever, like those are small things. We didn't have anything that really set us back too far, so that was a great success on our end. But I will say at some of the places that I have interviewed, and if you don't know, I'm applying for a breast fellowship, which is actually a match, so I'm kind of going through this with you guys, and there were some glitches, and the best thing you can do is just to be patient, you know, just say like, whatever, it's fine, because it's fine. Like, I don't think that that really reflects on the caliber of a program at all. Like, think about it. I mean, we're all using the same software, right? Like, it's not like, I mean, maybe some places have like really ultra fancy software and I just don't know about it, but at the end of the day, it's like just a part of life and you just go with it. So I don't think that you should really feel like, oh, this place is like worse because they had a tech glitch. Like, I think you should just be like, you know what, it happens to everybody. It's happened to me. It literally has happened to me, and I don't think that I'm someone who doesn't understand tech or like doesn't know it. So it just happens and you just go with it. So the first thing is just to be patient. The second thing that I've noticed from a lot of applicants is just like, y'all need to smile more, you know what I mean? And I think that that really comes from me doing YouTube and also just like doing some virtual webinars and things, that smiling really helps. And it's hard to get into that mindset because you're like, I'm talking to a screen. Like right now, I'm literally talking to a camera. But when you remind yourself that that's like what helps you look engaged and that's how you look really interested, that will maybe hopefully help you smile more. And honestly, it does require like a verbal cue, like in your mind, like, okay, I need to smile more. Because like, think about it, if I'm just talking to you like this, and this is honestly like more natural maybe, and like, you know, but then when you go like this, it's like a lot different. So I would suggest smiling more, just because it does help you look interested. And I know it may feel inauthentic, and I don't want to tell you to be someone that you're not, but it just helps kind of get your interest across on camera. So just try to smile a little bit more. And if you are someone who already smiles a lot, that's so amazing. You're so lucky, because I don't think that everyone has that ability. And for me, it took a lot of practice. So yeah, just smile a lot, because virtual interviews are awkward for both you and for the interviewer. And I think everyone can just, in this whole world, everyone could just smile more. Another piece of advice I can give you is just to stay on camera and also just like on the actual like Zoom as long as you can. One of the examples I have is last week when I was doing one of my interviews, I was in the earlier interview group, and so I actually finished early, and they were like, okay, well, you can log out if you want to. And I was like, I probably shouldn't, you know, like, even though it's easy if you're like going back to work or something, then obviously it makes sense, but I was just like, I should probably stay on. And actually, at like the end of the interview day, another one of the fellows came on and started talking to us about what she thinks about the program and other things. And so, you know, I would have missed that if I had logged out, because no one was like, oh, she's gonna log in like 2 hours. So just something to keep in mind, that like something may happen that will change your mind about the program or just give you more insight, more information to make a good decision. And so I always suggest like staying on. And obviously you can turn your camera off if you're like going to the bathroom or like getting coffee, whatever, that's fine. But when you're just sitting around, like I do suggest like keeping your camera on and like talking to other applicants and, you know, talking to the program coordinator, talking to residents if they're there, just engaging with as many people as possible. Another thing that is like always happening in virtual interviews is the awkward silence, right? Like if someone is like, so what other questions do you have? And like everyone's just like, nobody wants to be the first one to talk, or maybe just nobody has questions. I would always say like, be the person to break the silence. Because first of all, nobody likes awkward silence. It definitely makes everyone feel like, okay, like nobody here is interested in this program. Even if that's not true, like even if you ask like 1,000 questions before that, it just feels like awkward. You're like, does nobody have anything to say? So if you're in that situation, try to break the silence. I always try to be the person who breaks the silence when I'm interviewing, so or when I'm like being interviewed. So just try to break the silence and realize that, again, it's not about the caliber of the program, it's just probably a combination of who's in the room and how many questions y'all have already asked. just, yeah, try to break awkward silences. I also just want to give a shout out to all the program coordinators. If you're an applicant, I would always say thank your program coordinator. You don't need to send a thank you note, but just say thanks like in the chat or like, you know, in the Zoom, because you have to realize like how much work that this was to do for the program coordinators. I mean, first of all, it's hard enough to do an interview day in real life. You have to coordinate catering. If you're getting food from somewhere, you have to coordinate making sure everyone makes it to the hospital, making sure that everyone gets to the airport, making sure that everyone has the right itinerary. And remember, everyone's itinerary is different. And so just realize that it's a ton of work. And on top of that, they are doing virtual interviews. So like they are doing everything in a new way that they've never done before. And they're making, like they are rocking and rolling. Like I think everyone needs to say thank you to your program coordinators, and also realize that like at the same time, we're also going through fellowship interviews right now. We're also going through other things in the background of like the program that the program coordinators are also responsible for. So like realize that this is one part of their job. It's not their full job, and they are still doing such amazing things. So if you're gonna send a thank you note, make sure you at least say thanks to your program coordinator, because they are seriously like they are the ones who are making this virtual interview season possible, seriously. Since I just mentioned thank you notes, I'll just quickly talk about them. I think that they are a way to stand out this year. If you are really interested in a program, then sending a thank you note is always a good idea. Who should you send them to? I would say send it to the program coordinator and send it to the program director. You don't have to send it to anybody else. Obviously, you can ask the residents what they think about it wherever you're interviewing. You can say like, do you guys like them? And different places have different cultures. I don't think you ever need to handwrite a thank you note. I think an email is fine, but again, that could be program specific. I don't know, I haven't interviewed at every program. But yeah, I think thank you notes are good, but don't be inauthentic, and I would personally save them for places that you are actually really interested in, so that they know that you're someone who is like willing to make an effort for them. But that's pretty much my advice for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I learned this week, but I think it pretty much was standard. Like it was as expected. There were some glitches, but it was mostly okay. It's definitely like hard to sit in one place for a long time. That's something I just had to stand up and move my legs every now and then. And that goes for the interviewer side too. Like I was just sitting there for like from 7:30 until 11 something. So just realize that we're all struggling, we're all getting through this together. But overall, it's very fun. I think that we are getting to know all of our applicants actually pretty well. And yeah, if you have any questions about the interview process or anything at all, please let me know. I'm at Yasha Gupta MD on all of the social media platforms basically, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.